How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have All Hype with us tonight, and he can say his name and what he does in the band.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Michael. I also go by Striker. I sing in All Hype, and I also dance around like a fool. So, how's it going?
Love it. It's great. It's big salutes to Mike. I have been checking out his band for a little bit. I think he had big shout outs to the homies, Glacier Veins. He had told me off camera, he was like, yeah, I watched that Glacier Veins interview and like I knew I had to come on. So I appreciate it. Look, go check out Glacier Veins. They're the homies. Big what's up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shout out to Kyle. He was actually the one that told me. He was like, "Nah, you gotta go on. It's a good hang." And it's like, yeah. And I always love hanging out with Kyle and love Malia to death. Those guys, like, they're like big brother and sister to me. So
there we go. Well, big salutes to them. Love being a part of the Audio Addiction fam. So that's I'll take it. I'll take any help I can get. But I did check out All Hype, as I was telling Mike earlier. And they do have a new album coming out. I don't know if it's still coming out on September 8th. I think it is.
September 8th. That's when it happens.
There we go.
That's
well, 3D.
Happens, so.
It will be out now by the time this launches. So, we'll delve a little bit into the album, but I wanted to know, I think we did talk a little bit off camera about it, Mike, so you can maybe rehash a little bit of it, but how did All Hype start out? Obviously, I made a joke and said, I was like, oh my God, you guys are from Hawaii. That's so sick. And you're like, oh, actually, we're in Oregon. And I was like, what? Like, okay,
yeah,
that
so
makes sense.
So we're wild. Dom and I, so Dom is my drummer. He's I'll say this out to the world, he's the best drummer on the planet. He makes Travis Barker look like absolute dog shit because he puts in all that work. And
Respect.
This man doesn't stop playing drums, and he's one of my like all time. We're brothers for life. Him and I played drums. I used to play drums in the bands, and then of course he was playing drums in the second band. I showed him a demo. And he was like, Mike, you should sing. It's like, nah, I don't really know if I should do that. And he's like, no, you should definitely sing. I was like, well, who's going to play drums? And of course, he's like, I'll do it.
I'm going to do it, yeah.
Yeah. Then, of course, we needed a guitarist. We needed a bassist. And then we got Alika. Alika's our guitarist and forever the craziest shredder I know. Nothing but downstrokes all day, every day. Of course, we started there, and then it evolved, and we finally now have a bassist, Paulito Bailey. He is, he holds it down. He really holds it down. Okay. He's really the anchor to, our chaos. And I feel like we finally have kind of like figured out all the puzzle pieces together, and, it shows in this album. It really does. Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out because it's right around the corner, and I always joke that my job is never done as an interviewer or reviewer because I'll never be able to catch up with all of the bands that release all of the music. But I will definitely throw this on I plan on doing this one because I know I did check out some of the music from what's out on the music video on their YouTube channel, which I'll leave a link in the description. Please go subscribe. I definitely have subscribed myself. I feel like I'm part for the course. I gotta know what's going on. So I listened to you from out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, I'm like this. I'm feeling it. I need to know what's. Thanks, I listened to it, and I was like, if this is what's going to be on the album. Bro, I need to check out the whole album. I'm missing out.
It's wild. So it's kind of fun because From Out of Nowhere and Momentum are kind of like polar opposites of each other. And this is kind of like the idea that we had with the album is that, so long story short, COVID happens. We ended up opening up for Bayside back in 2019, which I got introduced to Bayside back in like middle school, and one of my best friends has like a full Bayside tattoo because he's that big of a fan. Shout out to Rise. I love Rise.
Shout outs.
And he introduced me to them, and then we saw this competition. I just said, shoot, whatever. We just throw our name in the hat for whatever reason, and then got a chance to do it, and it was awesome. We were gonna do a tour, and then COVID happened, and
Oh,
everything got shut down. Yeah, it's not all hype without some sort of technical difficulties.
I feel that.
It's for sure. But yeah, no, we just kept rolling with the punches, made things happen. I was just writing a lot. Of course, I was also like drinking and eating and trying to stay inside and not really do anything. Like all of us did.
Yeah,
I
oh,
caught
yeah.
up on Game of Thrones. That's something
Hell
I
yeah.
watched a
Okay,
lot.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, it was just weird. We were trying to figure out what we were gonna do and when we're gonna be able to play again. And from out of nowhere was actually I wrote parts of it, I guess into like 2021,
Mhm.
22, but I wrote Momentum in back in August of 2020. And yeah, and it was kind of like, yeah, the chorus was just something that in my thoughts, I was just like, I was really depressed. I wanted to go and play. I've always been wanting to play live. And it was just, where did these thoughts come from? I'm losing momentum. Like
Yeah,
I started to give up on things, and just that kind of pick the pace back up. And then same thing with like From Out of Nowhere. From Out of Nowhere was and it's a long story, but it's yeah, it was tough because I really miss being a kid.
oh,
Because
yeah. Same.
it's kind of the weirdest thing to say. It's like it's simple but not really. It's I missed like actually a hobby I just got back into was collecting Pokemon cards, because I missed playing Pokemon. I actually sold like all of my cards to move out here, uh, and to show my dedication to how much I love my music
Wow.
and how much the boys and I have been putting into this. I sold my Jeep that I had all throughout high
Oh,
school and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna move to the mainland. I'm gonna make things happen. And yeah, so like, I don't know. From Out of Nowhere, starting out was I don't know if you know who Jason David Frank is,
I
the
do,
original
yeah.
Green. Yeah, um, so From Out of Nowhere wasn't fully completed until after he passed away, because I actually he's a big hero to me, and
Sure.
it's not easy. It's not easy to go through, like, somebody that's that big of an influence on you, and then just disappears off the face of the earth. And it really brought me to like the idea on, if I was able to call like my younger self on the phone, like what would I say?
Sure,
Or
yeah.
like, it's the same thing as like if someone's like a loved one to you, or you know and I don't know. It was just tough. It was a tough thing that I had to like think about, and I just decided to write about it. And that's pretty much what most like the lyrics are. So yeah, and then of course From Out of Nowhere, the title is actually the first episode of Power Rangers in Space. And
Wow.
yeah, so it was one of my favorite series, and I was like, you know what, like what's something that I could like kind of put together. And then I was like rewatching some of like Power Rangers in Space, in the first episode I was like, yep, this is what we
This
got
is
to do.
it, yeah. I
So
I think it's cool too because it also relates, I think, nostalgically as well. Like, you're talking about a song about being a kid and like wanting to like still retain that sort of like kid like glow, right? I
mhm.
feel that a lot, and that's kind of like why I initially started interviewing bands, was because I was like, man, this is like something that like immediately hits like the like child sensibility in my head, like, oh, I'm homies, like I want to try to be like friends with everyone that does this, because there's something, oddly enough, that attaches you to somebody else that you like don't even know. Like,
Mhm.
you could know so much about somebody by like how much level of like dedication they put into their music, right? I mean, for the sheer
Mhm.
fact that you sold your car and like that you sold Pokemon cards, like, as someone who is obviously, I'm sure as a big nerd as me, like, I felt like I kind of felt a little bit of a pit in my chest. I was like, damn, that's like, that's some dedication, and it's crazy to me that, you know, like, and kudos for you to ultimately do that, because like I would kind of go around thinking to myself, like, is this really what I want to do? Like, is this something that I'm really like driven or passionate to do? And for you to just again go through that process of like being like we have to be on the mainland, we have to be able to do this and like have that sort of like mental fortitude and wanting to actually like live out that dream. It just correlates with the whole like kid like sensibility where you're like you almost feel to a certain extent where you're like, I don't care if it seems that crazy or that out of the way. Like, if you're a kid, like you just feel like you can. Doesn't matter how difficult it is. You're like, I'm gonna do it, right? And I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
kind of
life's
the same
like
thing.
that. You gotta be like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing. I grew up like always. Well, growing up, being in Hawaii, of course, like
Hmm.
my so I guess like a little bit of my background, I guess, like how the heck did this white boy get to Hawaii? Uh, but like
You just show up. Woo! Yeah, and
I'm
you're
just here. No, so actually, I grew up mostly in Asia and in Hawaii, basically. So I'm a weird kid. My dad
wow.
was a Marine.
Woo!
He was in the military, and of course, I'm a bit of a tough dude because of it. And you know,
Hell
I love
yeah.
my pops. My mother was a Southern Belle. They met. He got in the military, did the whole thing. Had my little sister, had my older sister, had me, and then he got a job in Okinawa for a little bit. So of course, like I grew up like around like
Oh,
anime all the time, and I was there. I was there at the
I
beginning,
was
dog.
there. I literally was in the place. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
so I grew up with that, and then like back and forth between like Monterey, California, just in between, and then I lived in Thailand for a little bit when I was little, so I was there for about until 2004, and then I moved out to Hawaii back in 2004, and then I just been there ever since, and then of course, you know, growing up the kid just like you know like we have like really cool like shops and all these different things as like kids like we had kendamas, we had you know we'd do pog contests and things like we get in fights over pogs, dude. It's like it was ridiculous, like elementary school yards. Nah, it's no joke. You know, we take that stuff real seriously. um but yeah, like growing up I was always into like music,
Hmm.
and then of course I ended up I ended up joining like the Boy Scouts when I was like little, and then I really didn't want to do Boy Scouts anymore, and I wanted to start doing music, and I ended up quitting that, doing music, and I originally wanted to sing actually, which was kind of funny.
Wow,
Uh, yeah, so it's always been kind of something like I've been wanting to do it, but never really had like the guts to say, oh, okay, I
I'm
could
gonna
do
do
this.
it. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but everyone needs a drummer, so I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. Yeah, and we like, and that's actually one thing that all hype really strives on is like we all fell in love with rock band as a kid. So like you know playing rock band and just hanging out with the friends, and you know we switch instruments and just
Oh,
play around and hang out at somebody's house or whatever. And my house was always like the hangout spot, so I was always used to everyone coming over and playing a rock band and stuff. And yeah, it was you know, everything kind of came around, and here I am 5 years later after moving from home and
whew.
making things happen, which is kind of funny. I actually knew nothing about Portland when I moved here. I'm a wild child. I'm
Don't tell
sorry.
that to people of Portland. They're just like, we just this guy just shows up and doesn't know anything about our culture,
Oh,
Portlandia. Like
well, that's
nothing.
kind of the same thing. That's the same thing I feel like with a lot of places.
Sure.
Anybody who goes somewhere, I think you gotta, especially in Hawaii too, you gotta do some touristy shit, and you gotta like know what the locals do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's like certain things that like in Hawaii, like you gotta obviously go to Waikiki. You gotta like walk down the strip, do all this stuff. You gotta go to there's like all sorts of like you gotta go to Waimea Bay. That's for sure. Like that's kind of touristy, but then there's like local spots that are like a little bit like more low key that, you know, if you know somebody there, then they'll try to like bring it into it. And as long as you like respect the Aina and, you know, respect everybody around and you try not to like make it too much of a touristy spot and keep it cool, then, you know, it ends up being cool. And that's kind of how I felt when I moved out here. Cause surprisingly, there's a lot of people from Hawaii that move out here. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Did
I
not
guess
know that.
what's the university? University of Oregon and both what's the university in U of O? Um Well, that's the University of Oregon. There's another one that's up here that I'm really bad with names and things,
That's
but
all right.
it yeah, I guess they have like a nursing program, and that's like a huge thing with
Hmm.
like Hawaii is like the going back and forth. So, yeah, so that's like a big thing. And then, of course, I missed home, and I found a really good like Hawaiian spot out here. So now I don't really have to worry about going back home. It's more of like it's kind of nice because then like I always miss the grinds and like having the ability to go get a poke bowl somewhere that's actually like legit is very nice because then I'm like, okay, I just miss like the beach and family now. So
Can't replace
um
those, I feel, but
no, absolutely not.
I got you though, but that's wow, what a journey. I think that's like I love that. I think for me, like the anytime that I have people on, it's like such a cool experience to like see all of the different like aspects and angles to like doing music, right? Like I
Mhm.
have been doing this for shit. I've been doing this for almost 8 years now, you know, like
Hell
it
yeah.
blows my mind like how people like connect in that way because I think music is such a crucial element to like people's lives and like the people that really are committed. And I think I drew a lot of parallels to like being in Hawaii and like if there's like a local spot and like people are kind of like if you know kind of a thing and if you
Hmm.
like respect that area then like they'll let you in. It's kind of
Hmm.
like I feel the same thing with like music in general, like
Hmm.
shows, like show culture, like people that go to shows. It's just like if people know you're cool and like like you respect that like level of things, like they're only going to like want to help you do better. Like it's such a like weird thing where it's like that like meme of the bouncer like opening the door, lighting the door closed. Like it genuinely is
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and I'm not even saying it from like I don't think at least I try not to gatekeep at all, but like
Hmm.
I know there are people that do wind up doing that, but I do find like
Hmm.
there is like a little superficial level of like, are you gonna snitch? Like, don't snitch.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean? Like,
absolutely. I mean, that's one thing I've learned out to, like all throughout being in music, even like growing up, doing music back home. It's like it's always weird because Hawaii has a weird like wave of different, like either shows will be going on super, like they'll be going on, like a bunch of shows will be going on, bands
mm-hmm.
will be popping off, doing the thing, because the scene out there is amazing, and not a lot of people actually go out there and do shows, which I've been that's one thing that like all hype really strives to do is like, hey, like we're from Hawaii, like we'll take you and go back and play a show with you guys, and like we want to show good music from the mainland out into Hawaii because
Sure.
usually it's like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus is a huge band that comes out there. Bayside's another one that goes
Yep.
out
Yep.
there, and it's actually really cool to see that like our buddies in 8250, they're on the Californias for Lovers
Oh,
show.
wow.
And yeah, and they're a band that's been working at it for a long time, and it's good to see like good Hawaii bands, getting the recognition that they deserve. And that's one thing that like we always try to make sure that if we can help the homies, then
Sure.
the homies help other homies, and it's all just like I don't know. The way I like to explain it is everything's like a feast. Like
Yeah.
there's plenty of food on the table. Like it doesn't have to be a famine. Like you're saying about gatekeepers, it's very true though. It's very true. There's a lot of gatekeeping in the community, and I think it's just people's mindsets, which
Sure.
kind of sucks.
I
But
would agree.
I guess you just kind of have to keep positive, even though like you know people are shitty all over the place, and
Sure.
that's in
Yeah.
every single field of life, but especially in music, because there's so much accessibility to music, and you can kind of just throw it out there. Some
Hmm.
people they get a bunch of different likes and super cool, and then you go and watch them live, and they kind of suck, which sucks for me because I like to go out to shows, and personally, I'm the type of person I like to go out to a show and not know shit about them, and then I
I
go
feel
out
you.
there
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like it's like I'll go to a show, and then I won't know what type of band they are. Like I might know one band that's playing. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll come early to go and see like the opener and just
Sure.
see how they're
Yeah.
doing because you never know. Like it's a little treat. Like it's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
when somebody comes in and it's like they actually kill it. It's like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. Like I'm not a huge fan of like Hail the Sun. just because it's just like it's a lot of stuff going on all at
Sure,
once.
yeah.
But or like polyphia. So like Dom, my drummer, is a huge nerd when it comes to like all sorts of crazy
Oh,
drum riffs and
sure,
stuff
yeah.
too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm more meat and potatoes, so I just like just good in your face, drivey stuff.
I got you, I
And
got you.
that's and I went and saw them, and then I saw like As an Ocean, I think was the band,
Being as
or
an ocean,
being
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I saw them, they killed it. It was super fun. I was like, okay, okay, this is sick. Kenoshi was another band that I
Yeah, yeah,
saw.
yeah.
This and they were wild. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm about this. I'm about wild shit like this.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it was like a little treat, and it ended up just being because like a friend of mine, he didn't have anybody to go with him. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go with you to a show.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and he's a huge fan of it. So I mean, I like it. And yeah, Hail the Sun is really good, and like their vocalist Donovan's like very talented.
Oh,
Plus,
he's
he plays
nuts.
drums and sings. So I was kind of
Wild man.
pissed off. I was pissed off because I was like, I can't do both, dog. Don't be
He's
flashing
just
that
like
shit.
this, and then he's like oh my god, he's great. Big salutes to Hail the Sun. Love those dudes.
No, it's like but that's the fun part. And I don't think a lot of people go out to shows enough and just like roll the dice to do it.
Yeah,
They're
oh
always like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I'll go to a show. Like if like my friends are gonna go, and like that's fine. Like I get it, I understand life and stuff, but um, I think I've realized as like people are re-immersing themselves out of COVID and all this stuff is that there's plenty of shows out there and people are really recognizing like, oh yeah, this is what I miss. This is really cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm hoping to like push more of that and to be like, hey, there's a lot of really good bands in the PNW. Come and check them out.
Like all hype. Go check the links in the description. You know, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, go say hi to my boys now. They're officially the
Absolutely.
boys now. So I just want to let you know
Hey,
they're a fam.
I'll take a sip of Arizona to that one.
There we go. But no, I agree with you a ton, Mike. Like, cause for me personally, like that's kind of like when people ask me about like, especially outside of the scene, people that are like, I don't want to be mean, but they are normies. They're a little bit
Yeah.
normies. And so I find that it's just like they're like, I don't get it. Like, why do you like this music, right? And it's like
Hmm.
partially I do enjoy the music. Obviously, wouldn't be going to shows if I didn't enjoy the music. But I think for
Right.
me, it's like I am always trying to like support people that do this because it's such a difficult thing that you get invested in, and like that's ultimately what made me start to interview bands. Was like I'm like, well, if anybody could, like any idiot can do it, like I might as well be
Hmm.
the idiot to do it, and so
Oh,
I
absolutely.
and so like for me it's like I, as much as I love having like bigger bands on, I've had Hail the Sun on like a couple of
Hmm.
different times now at this point in my career. Like, I've had large bands on that I've really looked
Hmm.
up to and have been like really much an inspiration to me personally. But I find that a lot of like the smaller groups that I have on, like that means a lot to me because I know they're keeping the scene alive, like these smaller bands that like
Oh
again,
yeah.
we talked about your journey on like literally selling your entire life to do like music. Like it's such a thing that I think I would argue goes very underrated. And like if somebody was to check your group out, they would be like
Hmm.
they wouldn't know all of the shit that you had to go
Yeah.
through to make the band and to put out an album called 3D, which you can check the links below. If you want to help Mike, buy more Pokemon cards or like something like that, or see them
Nah, just
tour,
get us
like
on
both.
tour.
I'll get us on
That's
tour.
always the crazy thing. Like, honestly, I try to be like real low key.
Sure, yeah,
That's why I like collecting Pokemon cards because it's just like, small
easy
little thing
shit.
that I can just, yeah, easy shit. And it's like, and like I actually have like a pin collection that I have as well too. That I like small stuff. I like to keep it low key. That or like tattoos, like those
Fair
types of
enough.
things, and which actually kind of leads to 3D and the album art, which is another thing. Shout out to our boy Tony Beat. He's actually done pollenized tattoos a couple times. He actually
Oh,
helped me
sick.
finish up my sleeve, and yeah, you can check out more of the stuff on our All Hype page. Not show off all my skin, but no, he's a cool dude, and I guess kind of diving into that, it's really wild to it's really wild for us to come up with the whole album and the idea came from just being like, you know what, we released like 2 songs or something. We released 2 songs with our buddies, and what's it Tony Lenosi, who actually he's done most of our music since we moved out here.
Oh,
And shout
sick.
out to Tony, because
Shout out to Tony.
he is, yeah, he actually helped us out. What's it called? Matthew Rabano, who's the bassist of God, what's the band? Tom DeLonge's band. Oh God, I'm so bad with names.
Boxcar
Uh,
Racer.
no, the other one. The
Oh
one he's
God.
in.
Oh, Angels and Airwaves.
Thank you.
I
Yes,
got you.
thank you.
My
I'm
knowledge
so bad
is.
with.
I'm picking it up, baby. I got you, Mike. Putting that team on the back.
Forgive me, I'm blonde. Forgive me, I'm blonde.
That's all good. It's all good.
But it's crazy because like we were talking about it, and we really didn't know what we were gonna do next with it, and we started like diving in, and I have a bit of a audio and lights background. I've been doing Berkeley School of Music for a while.
Oh,
I've been
sick.
off and on, just trying to like keep a day job, and then also like figure out the band stuff. So I'll
Amen.
do
I
like
feel that.
I'll do a course like every now and then, and I've just been kind of like slowly just keeping up with all the stuff. But yeah, I bought a bunch of like audio equipment, and then we were like demoing a bunch of songs, and we didn't really know like who we were gonna go to. Like we might go with Tony.
Yeah.
We might like we wanted to we really wanted to give ourselves a little bit more of like the like level up that I felt that we definitely needed. Like I wanted to spend like a lot of time in studio. I really wanted to kind of like dive really deep into, I guess, what All Hype really stands for. And Dom, Paul, Alika, and I, we're brothers first, and we wanted to
Sure.
kind of like show that, and like all the struggles that we've kind of dealt with since we've started out here. And yeah, and then of course Tony, I told him about like the idea with 3D, and he was like, you're not just going to make the tattoo like ideas like super 3D where no one's going to want to look at it because it's hard to look at. It's like, no. I was like, and I told him too, I was like, no. I want you to like just play around with it. I was thinking like flash piece. Like I
Oh.
love traditional style tattoos. So like the single arts that you see for the songs, so there's 10 different ones, and they all represent different songs.
Oh,
And I was
sick.
so that was coming up with like different things for each song, and I was like, could you do like a flash sheet for us? And I don't know when this is going to come out, but he's actually making posters of like hand drawn posters of All Hype flash sheets, and his
Wow.
on release day, you can go check out Tony Beat. He's probably connected into all of our stuff on Instagram, but he's actually doing all the posters, and all the benefits are going to go towards Maui with all of the
Oh,
fires and stuff. So we wanted to put that out there. We wanted to do something kind of fun, and something to kind of like lighten everything that's going on back home. And Maui's another thing is like Maui's got a great scene out there, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, but
no.
like
Good. It's all good.
yeah, but like it's yeah, I remember the first time I went out there to do a show, and I've got plenty of good friends out there that's still kicking it, making things happen back home. And yeah, I really wanted to do something that like would like I want to help them out as much as possible.
Sure. Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and Tony's also from Hawaii, which is kind of funny too. Yeah.
How ironic.
um,
Yeah. Wow.
I know, yeah. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we can definitely do that." And it's like, "I'd be down to do that." And it's like, "Would you want to do like flash piece tattoos on release day?" He's like, "Hell yeah, dog!" It's like, so if you go and get a tattoo with Tony, that's also going to help out as well too. So, yeah, we're
Wow.
super stoked on all that stuff. But it's wild. The 3D, I guess, is like and like with the songs, from out of nowhere is kind of a little bit more like the red, fun, jumpy, angsty, angry, like high energy stuff.
Yeah.
And then like momentum's kind of a little bit more like the blue, where it's it's a little bit more like drivey, it's a little bit more emotional. And I guess during COVID and during like all this time, I've always been kind of like I've always dealt with my own types of like emotional
Hmm.
instabilities, and I always kind of felt like split. in between, and I didn't really know like who I was for a long time.
Sure. Yeah.
Had some struggles throughout COVID that weren't exactly the greatest, but we figured it out, and I decided to write about it. And basically, the title track off of 3D, which is 3D, basically um, we wanted to set that up to kind of introduce people into the new like era of all hype. And I think people will understand as you listen to the songs that life's a freaking roller coaster. You
Ugh.
never know what you're gonna
Whew.
get. So we decided to embody that, and we actually another shout out to Glacier Veins. They set us up with connecting with Justin Abel, who actually did our record.
Wow.
He mixed, mastered, recorded, and he is a sweetheart of a man. Like we had too much fun in the studio during that time, and still it's always great to talk with him, and he's always great because he's not worried to push you towards
Mhm.
like what you're gonna do, like to because he wants the best like version of you when it comes into the studio. And I wanted to make sure I was like, oh shoot, we're gonna work with Justin. Okay, we got a
I
demo.
gotta be
We got to make sure
serious.
everything's like
Yeah.
this is legit. Like this is like he's a legit like producer. Like he's got the full thing going. He's worked with all these different artists too, and I want to make sure that he knows that we're trying to be like very respectful of
Sure.
like
Yeah.
him helping us out. And yeah, and like we made full demos and stuff. It's like, okay, so these are like, so we have 10-ish songs. Uh, and then we sent him over to him, and he goes, I could have just gotten a voice memo, and we could have just worked on that. I was like, what?
Oh
So,
my
because I
god.
guess that's what he's used to. He's used to like the voice memo stuff and like just figuring it out in studio. And then he's like, no, this is good. Like we'll make this work. I was like, oh shoot, okay, cool. And yeah, it was 2 weeks of just pure fun. And like the last I think it was the third week that we did was mostly like we decided to do just like we just messed around with the whole thing. We were just playing around with things. Yeah, we goofed around way too much. We were just laughing our asses off so much. Well, because we got so much done, I didn't realize that we were gonna have so much extra time, and we got a chance to like we did gang vocals on the songs, which was really cool. Actually, at the end of From Out of Nowhere, we used one of our cell phone numbers to do like a phone call, and then like basically we filled up our phone call so that like the message is full. And we wanted to represent Hawaii, so we like a couple of us keep our 808 numbers, and so you'll hear like the 808, and then like it'll cut out in between it, and it's
Yeah.
like we were saying earlier, like what's it like if you could call yourself back when you were a kid, and then obviously you can't, so because the voicemail is full or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I keep trying to talk to myself and trying to like reach out, but it's not going to happen. So you just got to keep pushing forward. And yeah, just wild.
What a clever writing process. That was I really appreciate that because like as
Thank
of
you.
like as myself like and the types of things that I do, I'm like, I do I have that type of foresight to kind of put all that together. So I think that I'm excited to actually like delve into that a little bit more. And I think it like again shows the entire like aspect of like people's lives, right? I think like it gives you an introspective look on like why is like why are they writing like this? Is like why is this crucial to them and like why do they do all these things like because I think from the outside looking in, if you're just like somebody that just like, passively listens to music, you're like, why would they put so much effort into this? This seems like a lot of
Yeah.
work, right? And so I think for me, it's like I gravitate to bands that kind of do this sort of stuff because to me, it's like I know how much dedication, how much time I put into my stuff, like my craft, right? And
Hmm.
for you to kind of, again, play homage to like your roots and your heritage and the things that like you would love to tell yourself as a kid. And then to ultimately kind of go through like trials, tribulations, things that people experience on a daily basis, like that to me, like speaks to the character of the band. Like those are all things that I think people can relate to and ultimately attach themselves to in that way. I think music, weirdly enough, is like this interesting introspective thing of like it can be a little bit parasocial, right? I think like a lot of the times
Hmm.
like you can find a lot of correlation or a lot of relation to the groups or bands that you listen to. Like, you're like, oh shit, I remember that. I've been in that headspace. Like I think a lot of people can resonate with feeling like at your lowest point during the pandemic, like I myself included. Like, I can, and I've said this a lot of times on the channel, is like I felt burnt
Hmm.
out. Like I felt like the candle was definitely burning at both ends, and like I took a break. Like I stopped, which normally is not like me. I'm very like foot to the gas and just keep going. But that was the first time I realized like that I was hurting myself. And I think that's like,
Hmm.
I think that ultimately, I think some people dealt with in a more like thoughtful way. And I think other people thought about it in more of a harmful way. And it's like, I think it's just like the types of artists that release stuff during that time period, like, obviously the time period after, us experiencing like lockdown and stuff like that, where I feel like you can definitely resonate with some of those artists that have put music out during that time. And obviously, I'm excited to listen to more stuff from All Hype
Hmm.
and like kind of resonating with those sorts of feelings and like, you know, being okay with knowing that like those experiences, like for better or for worse, have changed the way I view things and the way that I go about my life. I think like my goal in the whole like meaning of that sort of stuff and going through my life is like I want people to think that like not everything's going to be great, but I think it's about a perspective change on like, this sucks, but like you made it through it. You can do this. Like
Right.
it's a difficult process, but like you're still here and that's important. And I think like people think like, oh, I have to have this big change or I have to like be like things have to be like so like you feel like you have to level up in that way, and it's just like for you to survive and to get through that, I think it should just be the biggest accomplishment that you should feel about that. And that like if anything extra happened during that time period where you learn more about yourself or you like experience things like that may have changed your perspective on things and like you were able to grow from it, like consider that just an extra bonus, right? Like that's another thing
Hmm.
that just changed your life in for a better way. And I'd hope that if people are still experiencing those things, like bad things, like try to see if you can get help or like reach out. Like I think it's like that's one of the biggest things that I feel like community wise is a big thing, is like reaching out to people that are struggling, right? That's like
That's what music's all
that's all
about,
music
and
all about. Exactly.
that's that's what's always healed me too. And like I think especially like we get compliments all the time on being compared to all these bands that I grew up wanting to be
Sure.
like, and I like, and I a lot of people always can compare me to like Ben Barlow or Parker Cannon all the time, and I'm
I would
just like
agree. I would
sick.
agree. Yeah.
So I'm a pop punk singer. I love it. I love it. Hell yeah. And but especially too like someone gave me actually a really good compliment a while ago, and honestly, I'm really bad with compliments. So if anybody ever says anything nice to me,
I'm the
like
same. Yeah.
I really do appreciate it, but I'm gonna look awkward as shit. I'm sorry,
I feel.
but
I feel.
yeah, but like yeah, there's something like um, they asked me, it was like is asking like how do I write shit, and I try to write every day, and I try to write even if it's like like if it's just nothing, like it's just nothing, just something stupid that's
I
on my
walked
mind. It's
my
like, oh yeah,
dog.
like
Like I got
yeah,
you.
like
Yeah.
I got groceries today, and some asshole looked at me or something. Like I don't know, just something. Even if it's like a concept or a lyric or something, I'm writing something down every single day, and I've actually been trying to getting better with like because not a lot of people like to write things down, so I try to write it down now as much as I like put it on my phone because all of my lyrics still live on my phone, and they're safe in a Dropbox just in case my phone ever like falls into a river or anything, which has happened before.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm very aware like how wild
The
my life will
foresight.
turn.
Yeah.
Because oh yeah, it's like I gotta keep all my bases. But yeah, it was yeah, they was asking about my writing style, and I'm just like sometimes I Frankenstein stuff together just because I've always had mixed emotions about things, and I always try to like build off of what those things are, and and I told them that, and they were like, "You've really put a lot of thought into this," and I was like, "Thank you." And yeah, I guess it's you know, if you give a shit about something, you should, right?
Yeah,
You
oh,
know,
yeah.
it's and it's like not a lot of people though, and you know, I'll call out anybody. It's like, you know, if you don't put effort into your stuff and you expect, you know, all these people to listen to your music, you know, at the end of the day, like you might get millions of views, but like at the end of the day, you still have to live with how you feel about the song. And ironically enough, that's actually how I felt about like Momentum, because Momentum is like one of the easiest songs I've ever written in my life. And it was just so simple. I really didn't want it to be on the album for a while, and I was
Wow.
like, yeah, it's honestly I was there was another song, there was a couple other songs I was thinking like, oh, this would fit more with like because 3D is more of like a story that I
Sure.
guess that we kind of given a little teaser with like with those two songs, but I really wanted a song that like I really wanted all 10 songs, like the second you play the first song you go all the way to the last song, that the first song it comes right back, so it's just an endless cycle. So no matter what, and it was just a weird concept, and I was like, oh, but this would fit a little bit better. But you know, the boys were telling me like, no, 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 this
Uh,
is a good song, dude. It's like, and of course, you know, I've always listened to him. I mean, Dom, of course, being, you know, yeah, you should sing, Mike. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right, if you say so, all right, I believe in you. You know, don't make me look like a fool though. And then of course, you know, I already make myself look like a fool, so
Fair
I
enough.
never blame it on anybody. So, but it was weird. It was weird concept, and you know, that's actually one song that a lot of people are always like. I love it when my friends tease me over my songs, just because that's how I know that they listen to them, and it's I love that. I love that, and we actually just went back to Hawaii to do a show
Oh,
right
sick.
before all the stuff was
Oh,
going on, and and it was just so awesome. Like we've been trying to do it as an annual thing to like go
sure.
back home and
Yeah.
just you know, support the Hawaii scene and do something fun, and you know, get a chance to play in front of like all our friends and family and whatnot too. And yeah, it was really cool because people knew like the lyrics to Momentum, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. This is really cool. So I feel like there's definitely this big like weird aura around this album that I've been, you know, trying to I guess manifest for a while.
Sure, yeah.
And it's just like it's nice to know that, you know, with a lot of hard work and if you just believe in something, people will, you know, resonate with that. And
Oh, I know
yeah,
that feeling.
it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, I constantly shake my head at my computer screen, and I'm like, "Wow, this idiot, this guy does YouTube, and, like, people like my stuff." Like, I'll get a comment, and they'll be like, "This was so great," this feels like we're just, like, I'm hanging out with the room with you guys, and I can't tell you, like, how much of a, like, massive compliment that is to me, and I'm very much like you, I just can't take the compliment. I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you so much."
You and me
Like,
both,
oh,
bro.
like, I'm like borderline as like I'm typing out the comments, like tears are falling onto my phone screen, you know?
Exactly.
But it's like that's kind of that's kind of why like you know, getting back to the like pandemic thing, like that's
Mhm.
why I stopped like took a break because I just knew I was like so burnt out and like I took a pause and it was like I knew I needed it. Like it was like I knew like this is a part of who I am and like I know I need to continue doing it. Like it kind of invigorated me to want to interview bands. And not that I fell out of love out of it, but it was just like foot to the gas for like I don't know, like 6 or 7 years, you know? Like
Yeah.
so like to me it was like just putting a lot of heart and effort into it and like I'm sure like bands can definitely relate to that where you're just like, man, when is my big break going to happen? When is my thing going to happen?
Mhm.
When is this going to happen? And it's just like, as much as like, I think the instant gratification of like music is like, oh my god, like, you know, you get somebody that's just like, you put a song out like 5 milliseconds ago and they're like, yo, so when's the next song dropping? I just need to know. And you're like, did you even like, this song just came out, like there's no way you could have
Yeah,
sat through and finished it, but then you're already asking me for the
keeps it
next
going.
keeps it going, right? You know, and like, I think it's like, I view it as like partial compliment and not, because it's like, yeah, it's like that person's very excited for the next track. That's fucking awesome. But also at the same
Mhm.
point, it's like, did you even? We just released a
No, I
song.
get
Yeah.
that. Well, because that's how I felt when because we decided to because we were going to release our EP, "Greetings from the Other Side,"
Oh.
while we were on tour in 2020, and then obviously that didn't happen, and we
Yeah.
was just sitting on them, and I was just like, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
just release it to the masses," and yeah, and then like instantly like a bunch of things popped up. We ended up doing an acoustic song that again another song I really didn't want on the record. It's just always ends up being the one song I just absolutely do not want to put out there, and it's a song called Polaroid, and it's an acoustic song that we actually did. We had Saxel Rose do some sax
Oh,
on it,
sick! All right.
and he's a good homie. We actually so my band before All Hype opened up for Neck Deep when they came to Hawaii, and we got to meet the guys and the super sweet dudes, and it was it was so sick, and it was so weird too because like we had just done another little bit inside of All Hype. We actually started out as a cover band, a Halloween cover band called Balls Deep. I shit you not. We dressed up as the kids next door, and
What?
yeah,
Oh.
and it was so much fun. We thought we were not gonna do nothing from it. Well, because that was part of like the thing with Dom. He was like, "No, you should definitely demo this." And I was like, "Well, like, um, like I guess to kind of like put me into singing."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, why don't we do like do the cover night or whatever?" Because Hawaii is known for doing like the bands will dress up and they'll cover their favorite artist or something,
That's so rad.
and then everybody comes out and it's like a fun Halloween thing that we do
Yeah.
every year, and it's so much fun. And I was just like, oh well, why don't we do it? So we kind of like made like a super group, a little bit of our friends and stuff. Of course, like Alika played guitar, Don played drums, I sang. Two of my other buddies, Tyler and Lucas, they played guitar and bass, and and it's just fun. It was just a
Yeah.
fun time, and I didn't think anything from it. But then I actually like the first thing I did was I decided to step on a stool to see if I could jump off
Oh
of it,
God. Oh no.
and I instantly I just stepped on it and instantly fell on my ass, and I was like, I don't think I should be singing, dog. I don't know if I'm like allowed to stand and perform. And of course I just everybody laughed but picked me up
Sure.
anyway, and it
Yeah.
was like and so I was like, okay, well if everyone's having fun, and then I sang, and then people gave us praise. I was like, what I didn't know you could sing, Mike. You're usually playing
Dude.
drums. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then yeah, and then it's just like, but it was like a wild thing because like literally like months later we were asked to play for Neck Deep, and I was like, what the fuck? No way, no way. So Dom of course is a huge fan, and
Oh yeah.
I had him play drums for one of our songs, and I jumped on stage and sang. And so it was like, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like this is the first time I ever felt like, yeah, this makes sense. I'm definitely making the right decision, like
Sure. Yeah.
moving from home and stuff. And then of course, Dom being the badass he is, he was like, well, why don't we get like Saxel Rose on this or something? Because they had because Neck Deep had just put out the stuff, and he had kept in touch with them for a
Oh,
while.
sick. Yeah.
And I was like, you think Saxon would want to do this? And next thing you know, we sent him a DM. We're like, hey, we got a song. We'll let you check it out. And he's like, yeah, I could do this. I'm like, whoa, what? So yeah, so to have him do that, and it's God, it makes me tear up just every time I hear the saxophone. It's just
Oh,
I love me a good sax. I love me a good sax,
same.
and he plays absolutely tremendously, like every time he plays, it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And I've loved everything he puts out. And the next thing you know, for him to like jump on our track and be like super supportive, I was like,
Oh,
what? So, and especially during the pandemic too, I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. So that kind of gave me like a little bit more of a push. And then, yeah, it's just so weird. Yeah, wild shit. My life is
full
always
cir
wild.
it's those, like, full circle moments where you're like, "Is this real?" Like, like, you, like, pinch yourself, you're like, "There's no way
I'm
this is
always
happening."
pinching myself,
I feel
dude.
that, yeah, I'm kinda the same way where, like, I get an email, I'm like, "I
Yeah,
got this email?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What? That's crazy. They wanna be on my show? Oh my god, that's awesome." Like, I genuinely love, like, when smaller bands message me too, like, people think that I'm just, like, this big thing, and I'm not,
Hmm.
I'm just a dude being a dude being a bro, and, like
Yeah.
I just like, I genuinely tell myself, like, I wanna be, like, the scene's internet hype man, I just wanna,
Oh
like,
yeah.
have on people and just be like, "Yo, All Hype, fucking sick band. They have a new album, 3D. You can check it out September 8th. Links below, like
Hmm.
I would love to see you guys do well. And I think genuinely like there's a lot of great like talented people that write and that want to see the bands do well. And I
Hmm.
really love for like I'd really love for, as you mentioned, like a comment you made earlier about like everybody enjoying a feast. It's like I
Yeah.
think like oftentimes like we think in like one lane thoughts where we're like, this is me. Like I want to see myself do big. Like, and like that's fine. Like you could still,
Hmm.
come correct. Like that's great energy. But I think it's also like equally as important to like view someone else or their project as like somebody else that's your homie that you would want to do well. Like I think that's genuinely like what I try to do and just how I view a lot of the bands that I have on is like I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but I would love for somebody else like even if they springbolt off of me and go to somewhere else and like they
Hmm.
do fucking big shit, like I'd rather
Right.
have that. That's awesome. Like that they would like early on were very much a part of my thing and just to continue to see like them carve out a path and like do well. Like that to me is like I'll take that all day every day. Like that's such a great thing
Right.
and that's what I hope for All Hype and like again guys 3D is out now so you can like check the links below and go check it out peep it. I'm going to be like probably listening to it live on release day, possibly. That is, I think that is a possibility. If not, then I'll be definitely doing some sort of review and having that up because um, genuinely enjoyed the music and I'm really just excited for everybody to hear the rest of it. I do have a great question for you, Mike, because we kind of have
Yes.
gone all over the map, but I feel like this is another good question to ask you,
Hmm.
which is like what song would you recommend people listen to that will give them a good idea of All Hype? Like, let's just say they click on this video and they're like, I don't know this project, but like, I need to know what Mike suggests for me to listen to first.
Okay. So my favorite song on the record. Well, I technically have two favorite songs.
Okay,
They're
you can
not
give
out.
both. You can give both
They're
of
not
them. Go ahead,
okay.
shoot.
So another kind of like 3D look into like my life. I guess if you really want to like hear, I guess like what really resonates with me the most. Me personally, Redwoods
Oh,
is a song that um, I decided to just be an angsty dude, and I went off, and I was trying to figure out like what's like how can I say something without being super like because a lot of songs are like always like fuck you, fuck this, whatever, like always angry. No, I wanted to really like think how can I like contain all this like angst and like throw it out there and try to be like as deep of um I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. You
you
just
want
got
to
to
get
listen
all the
to it.
energy out. You want to,
Yeah,
I feel you.
I wanted to get like a song that was like, hey, I want it to be nonstop punches in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's funny enough, I'm actually a boxing coach as well. That's how I pay the bills. So, then I was like, okay, what's like the essence of that?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, and I recommend listening to it from Out of Nowhere into Redwoods because it's my favorite time within the entire album. I'm like, the whole thing just like it just goes from one thing to another to another to another. That song gets me hyped every single time I listen to it. And
Well, it's
every
in
time
the
we perform
namesake,
it, I'm just
you
like,
know.
boom, boom, boom,
I
full
mean,
on. It's so much fun.
you are all hype, so I feel like, you know, you got to bring it.
We try to live up to
Otherwise,
it.
you know, you got to change your name. It's just legally, you know, legally obligated. You have to change your name if it's not hype, you know.
Honestly, funny enough, I wanted to call the band Misadventures first, which is I thought was going to be a really good name, but some Australian female band owned the copyright of it, and good on them, but
Wow.
they're not putting out music anymore. And
Oh.
I would love to speak to whoever is the owner of this copyright. But we actually ended up naming the first EP that we put out together as Misadventures. So that was kind of like an
So there you
ode
go.
to it. So I was
Homage,
like, you
yeah.
know what? Yeah, because All Hype is I went on a rant about like, and this is funny enough. I hate the music industry. I really don't understand like why it's not easier for bands to try to like actually like put themselves out there.
Sure. I'd
And
agree.
the same thing with like gatekeeping and all that stuff. But the same time too, there's also like there's there's effort equality, and then actual like, oh yeah, I'm owed all of this stuff. And too, and I've always been the type of person, you got to work hard to play hard.
Hell yeah.
and
Feel that.
and
Yeah.
you just got to do it. And if you want stuff, it might not come the time that you want it to happen. And it might suck for you, but you got to just keep pushing through on that stuff. And I was like, well, the music industry is just all hype anyway, so whatever. And then that just became the name. That just
Sick.
became the name. I just opened my freaking mouth like I usually do, and there it is. There it is. Yeah,
That's a power move.
definitely Redwoods. Definitely Redwoods is the
Okay.
song. If you want to listen to something to wake up in the morning and it's like today's gonna suck, but I'm gonna kick its ass. That's the song I would listen to. Yeah.
I'm ready to get, for all my nerds out there, I'm ready to get fucking reverse Falcon punched, you know what I'm saying? So
Hell yeah.
that's what I want, you know? I want to see somebody just get absolutely rocked, you know? Not actually,
That's
though.
it. No, I want to see. I just want everyone to have a great time listening to the record. We had an awesome time having fun with it, and I hope people can, take something from it. Either like they can heal from something that they're struggling from, or they can wake up and just get ready for work listening to it, or singing in the shower, or just hanging out with their friends. Or I just wanted that like essence from all of our songs, and I hope it resonates with people.
It's gonna be I'm coining you guys as all vibes now. That's what you guys are gonna be to me. You know, that's what it's gonna be. All vibes. We want all the vibes. So that's it. That's
Yeah,
my
it's all vibes and all hype. Yeah, yeah.
all vibes, all hype. You know, no filler. There you go. That's
No
it. That's it.
filler.
That's great.
And I am a huge Sum 41 fan. I am a huge Sum 41 fan. I actually, you know what? I'll show off some skin. I got that
Oh
41
shit.
tattoo.
Okay, I
Yeah.
like that. That's hard. Respect.
I'm a diehard 41
Uh
fan. Everyone's a Blink-182 or a Green Day fan.
no
It's like,
no
nah,
no.
you guys can suck it. Sum 41 forever, baby.
So good. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, I love Green Day. I also love Blink, but yeah, Sum 41 just hits, man. There's something special about them. But
See, I just want to cause a fight for no reason. I just
I just realized you're just causing a fight on my channel. So that's why it's
I
not
do it
going to
all
get
the
taken
time,
to
though.
your.
No.
It's just going to remain
No, I
here.
tell. Well, that's the funny thing is like Alik is a huge Blink fan, and of course, like him and we actually got tattoos on the same day, and he got Blink-182, and I got Sum
That's
41. So
funny.
I'll pick on him all the time,
You're
but
just
like
like,
still, I'll go and watch Blink with him because I know that band is absolutely tremendously good. Mark Hoppus is one of the best bassists that I've ever seen, and
shreds.
Tom DeLonge, no matter what, is like I still, everyone can make fun of him, but guess what? Everyone's singing his songs
Iconic.
anyway.
Iconic.
And
Yeah.
And Travis Barker is the second best drummer that I know.
You're right.
So
Exactly. Put him in his place. You know, I got you. I got you. Respect.
I'm gonna meet him one day, and next thing I'll be like, "I'm
He's
so
gonna be
sorry,
like,
Mr. Barker.
he's gonna be
I'm so
like, yeah. So I
sorry."
watched this interview you did with Brandon from Audio Addiction, and man, I've kind of felt some type of way, you know. And then you're like, no, no, no,
No,
no.
I just want to. I want to see him and Dom have a drum off. That's
Fair
that's
enough.
all I want to see.
Let's go. Tag all hype. Tag Blink 182. You know,
Let's
on
go.
your Instagram story. Let's go. You know,
Let's make it happen.
listen. Stranger shit has happened. You know, TikTok has been like wild. You
Very
know,
true.
I'm telling you. Just tag Blink One. You know what? Just tag Blink 182 on TikTok, and just like you'll just be like day 53 of me not having a drum off with Travis Barker. Shit.
That honestly, I've told Dom this before. He's always shy. He's actually he's not usually an interview type of dude. So
I
like
felt.
and then and he's always like he's the sweetest dude. You just got to talk to him about like anime and cars, and like
Amen.
that's pretty much him.
I love
So
it.
yeah, that and drums like then like you got Dom captivated. But no, he's all he does is play, work, sleep, eat, play, work, sleep,
Oh,
eat. That's it. And
he's like me. That's how I am.
yeah, that's how it should be. And he's honestly somebody that I look up to when it's like, anytime I'll get aggravated with him. I'm like, Dom, you need to like sleep, my dude. It's like, but I got to work on this part. And it's like, you've
Amen.
been
Yeah,
at the
I feel.
studio since like 2 a.m. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
gotta get done. Yeah, come on, man. Jeez, you're
but
like he looks at
and
you like you have like 5 heads. He's like, come on, man. Like,
I
you
respect
know.
it. I respect it. I respect it. And that's the way that he does it, and that's the reason why he was able to get all of his drum parts done in 2 days. And he's just a monster. He's a
The
monster at
goat.
the drums. And
That's why he's number
like
one.
that's why he's number one. That's
Yeah,
absolutely
amen.
right.
Put some respect on that name. I'll give him a
My
golf. I'll
boy.
give him a golf kudos clap. You know, respect. But I'm excited. I think for me, like again, all hype. I again went through some of the songs that you have on YouTube, and I was just like, man, like people should know about this band. You know, I always find that like I just love finding out about like bands, whether they email me or like they or people recommend it. It's just like what rock haven't I uncovered yet that
Mhm.
it's like the Zelda like chess theme, you know, and then you
Oh
come out
yeah.
and it's just like, oh hype, here's the band, you know, like
Mhm.
it's just such a cool feeling. And so I think that's something I'll never get over. It's like, you know, it's like Christmas every day, you know, when I find a new band that I just get really stoked on. And yeah, I'm glad to add all hype to that list. So definitely, guys, again, I'm gonna keep reiterating it just in case you get tired of me saying it. But you know, you can check the links in the description. You know, listen, I'm
Absolutely.
just saying, if they blow up, I told you, I told you. Just
It's
want to say
when. It's always when.
when.
Always got to tell yourself when.
That's how I
Because
feel.
I might be like Ian McKinnon, like the guy who played Professor, or not Professor X, Magneto.
Magneto, yeah,
He
yeah,
got well, I was watching a video today, and he didn't get famous until he was like 60. So you never
yeah.
know when it's going to happen, and as long as you keep grinding and doing your thing, and we're low key guys, so if I have to live by just like playing shows and working at a boxing gym and just hanging out with my friends, like shoot, that's totally fine with me. But I'm just gonna keep grinding either way. So
Yeah, and I love bands that just hit the ground running, you know. So
mhm.
listen, go check out All Hype. I already told you this, but I'm gonna tell you more times. So get ready. You know, if
Mhm.
you haven't been beaten down, I'm gonna wrangle you into shape. But
But that's the thing too, is like you should check out. A lot of people don't know about the Pacific Northwest. Like one thing I'll tell everybody out there, like Portland gets looked down upon a lot of times because there's a lot of chaos. But that's just everywhere, and like unfortunately, it's a big thing with us out here. But at the same time, I'll tell you right now, the music scene is still thriving. Hawaii is still going strong
oh
with their
yeah,
music scene. California, Seattle, the whole West Coast is taking over.
oh
Whole
I
West
know,
Coast
oh
is
I
taking over.
know, oh I know. There's some great bands out there. You know, as I mentioned, doing my fair share of of bands and interviews all
You all
across.
you already know.
I
You
already
already know.
know. You're preaching to choir here, but for people who don't know, you know. Now you know. Go look. Go check out
Mhm,
some of these great bands. But yeah, it's that's why I say great music can be found anywhere. So go,
mhm.
please go check out All Hype. But the next question I have for you, Mike, is what are you
Yes.
currently jamming? What something you've been spinning more recently?
Um, recently, I have actually been listening to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 soundtrack.
Wow,
Uh,
Volume 3.
I
Okay, respect.
Yeah, Volume 3. Well, because it just came out on Disney Plus. So I was like, I'll check it out. I'm a huge Marvel nerd, so I always like rewatching the movies, and I'll
Felt.
rewatch them to until I get like tired of them and I can fall asleep to them. But yeah, no, I love every single time. Every soundtrack is amazing. And my mom's really into like jazz, and my dad's really into like rock music.
Nice.
So anytime that I can listen to stuff that's like kind of like out of my realm of like pop punk and hardcore and
Oh yeah.
metal shit or whatever, it's always fun to kind of listen to it. I still sing Valerie from Amy Winehouse in the
Oh.
shower, and it's
Oh.
like, come on now. It's like music, no matter what genre, you got to respect it. You got to respect it, and it's just like there's beautiful art everywhere, and I always try to like pull myself out of the pop punk world, and that's why I live under a rock. So people have to like usually like tell me about bands, or I go to a show to not like anybody out there. You need to make sure you go to your local shows, no,
Do
even
it.
if it's a band that you support one band on that bill. You go
Go
early, you
all
go
of them.
check out those bands. No matter what it is, like I've gone to shows where it's been where it's like I knew nobody on the bill, and I went out there, had a blast, and was like, okay, this is pretty badass. Okay,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay, and it's like you never know who's gonna rock it and have a great time, and you never know who's either gonna have an off night or just a little too full of themselves. But you gotta go out there and have your own opinion about it, and you know. Check it out for yourself. You can't just go based off of everybody else's opinion. You got to go check it out yourself.
Yeah, oh, I 1000% agree with that. And I would even add on to what Mike said, which is you'll never know the band that you go see may be your next favorite band. So
Exactly, exactly.
that's what happens, and there's a lot of great local bands out there. And just bands in general. So please,
Hmm.
go do your due diligence and go out to shows. Like I go to shows by myself all the time and I love it.
Hmm.
I make it out there. I do my shit and if I can go out there and do some interviews, that's also great too. But there's also times I just pull up at a show and I just enjoy it and just rock out. So
That's what's up.
go do it. It's well worth it. And also you get to make cool people. There's a lot of cool people in the scene. Just do your thing. I don't bite, so if you see me in the East Coast, like more specifically Pennsylvania, like come say what's good. I
Yeah.
love it. So, but the next question I have for you, Mike, you did mention that you did a cover band prior to all hype and stuff. So I feel
Hmm.
like this is a very apt question to ask you
Hmm.
guys. But if there was a song that all hype would cover, what song would it be?
I've actually had this question for a very long time. I personally hate covers, so
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Interesting.
I'm a bit of a hater. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. It's
It's
all
just
good.
I think a good cover is when a band makes it their own, I
Agreed.
guess.
Fully. Yeah.
And I feel like with us, like we could play like a bunch of different songs. It's just that I would really want to like make it our own. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Felt.
Like a song that I actually really thought was really good was Manskin. They did the song as like da 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 da. I forget this. I don't know what the song's
I
called,
think I
but
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
uh, I'm begging
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
you.
The
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So like that song, I was like, this ain't the same band. But then I checked them out. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But like they made it their own. I was like,
yeah.
nah, this is a pretty good song. But it's one of those things. Like I guess to put it in retrospective for the whole masses, that's like you never know you never know what song that you like a lot that another band could do, and then kind of like, still like honor that
Oh yeah.
that person who created the song, and then next thing you know, like they make it their own. And it's like, okay, this is really cool, because like that's what music's all about. It's about like, just creating and having fun, and embracing and like respecting like everyone and the whole
Oh yeah.
thing, and just having a good time, putting out good vibes. Because like, I don't know, that's how I've always looked at it, especially with like pop punk stuff. There's been like really good pop punk bands that like Knuckle Puck, they put out
Oh,
Chocolate. That's like that's another one
so
that's like
good.
I listen to that one all the time, because of course like I've always been a huge Knuckle Puck fan, and
Same.
I started listening to their stuff when I was in high school, when their stuff was on Bandcamp, and like them and Home
Wow.
Safe. Yeah, and it was like
Whew.
I didn't know that they were gonna blow up like they did, but like that's the other thing too, is like you never know who's gonna fricking blow
Yeah.
up. Like,
All hype's
you
next,
never.
Check the links below. I got you. I got you, Mike. I got you,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
got you.
sir. But yeah, it's just wild, because um, I've been really fighting the urge to, like, I guess like just jump into a cover song, because I really want to, like, put some respect on the
Yeah,
name for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the only song that we were kind of looking at was we were I want to say it was like a Taylor Swift song was one. Like, with all hype, there has to be a breakdown. So that's like, there always
Respect.
has to be a break.
Respect.
So like,
Respect.
so if we're gonna
Oh,
do something
yes.
wild, like a Taylor Swift song with a breakdown would be kind of fun.
Hard.
Um,
Yeah. Respect.
I think it's just also figuring out which one. I think like either like The Cure. There was a
Ooh.
song from The Cure that would be that we would want to do. I think like Taste Like Heaven,
Oh.
or Just Like Heaven. Yeah, yeah. It's like that would
Oh.
be a really good one. And maybe like The Killers or something. Like just something fun. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing too. It's got to be fun. It's got to have a breakdown. That's the only two rules. That's the
That's
only two
fair.
rules in all hype. To give
I'm
our
about
cheat
it.
codes out
That's
there.
it. Yeah, those. Yeah, that's the Konami code. I got you. Yeah, yeah. You have to do up, down, left, right, A, B. Yeah, I got you. If you know, you
Yeah, I
know.
got.
You if you're a nerd, you
Yeah,
get it. You get it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But yeah, no, I've 1,000% agree with you on cover songs. Like, I feel like if a band makes it their own, especially if I see it live, oh, 10 out of 10. Like, I will love that band to death, so I do find I do agree with you 1,000% on, like, if it isn't hidden, it isn't hidden, but I don't know. Let me think. I'm trying to think of a song I feel like you guys could, like, just destroy.
Let's grind out. Let's figure it out. Let's figure
Oh
it out.
man, I feel like since you did mention the, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, like, they do a bunch of, like, mixtapes essentially.
Hmm.
I think you
Hmm.
could do a song. I feel like you could do, like, an old school, like, classic rock song.
I
I
would love to do
I
something
feel
like
like you
that.
could rock with one of those. Like, I'm trying to think of a good one. I would. I
I
think.
know.
I think it would be. I know you did mention Amy Winehouse, and I know a lot of people do Valerie, but man,
Hmm.
Valerie with a breakdown and, like, kind of more of like a pop punk hit. That'd be kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie.
I can. I practice that high note all the time. I practice that high note all the time.
Imagine
I've
hitting the
always.
high note and then a breakdown. Go.
Oh, that
Woo!
stink face. Ooh, that would be so good. Oh man. Okay. All right. Let me sit on it. Let me sit on it a little bit. Hold
Let him
on.
cook. Let him
Hold on.
cook. Let him
Let me
cook.
let me cook. Um, Shoot, that actually would be really good, huh?
I'm just saying, don't get. I don't even want any credit. I just want to know that it will exist, and that I made it happen.
No, no, no. You definitely get credit. They definitely get credit for it. Well, I mean, like I've been trying to that. Yeah, exactly. Just trying to figure it out, I guess, is like just always the hard part.
Oh yeah,
Because like the playing part is honestly the easiest. I think it's just more of just like it's the rest of the
setting it up.
context.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, and yeah, you got to put respect on it. Like if
yeah.
you're gonna do
I mean,
Amy,
it's Amy
oh man,
Winehouse. Yeah, yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, I
Woo!
gotta really like pull up. It's just nothing but home runs. It
Yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah.
be like you kind of just like popped it
Yeah,
a
you
little
got to
bit.
Denny's Grand Slam it.
No, no, I gotta like yeah. you saw the IHOP thing that was going
Yeah.
on as well
Yeah.
too. Like that, I don't see. This is like I can't catch up with all these people because it's like the internet's just consistently going off, and I'm like, yo, what the heck is up, IHOP? And I'm like,
Uh,
all right, cool, all right, sick. People just going off. All right, let's go. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, It's like there's always wild shit going on, and I'm trying to catch up. This is why I'm saying it's like people got to tell me about things because I'll just see it on the internet. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. But hey, someone tells you that they're gonna go to like their pancake house down the street. Like, go to that show. You
Hell
never
yeah,
know.
brother. Yeah, classic meme culture. What the fuck is up, Denny's? That's an
That
OG.
Area 51, like Area 51 Fest. That should be that's a is that has that already happened? Has that already happened?
I
Or
don't have
like
any idea about that. If you guys know, let us know in the comments. But also, while
if
you're at
if it
it,
hasn't though,
um,
hit your boy
hit the
up.
boys up.
Let's
You know what I'm saying? Also, while you're down in the comments, let us know what song you would love to hear All Hype cover. Let us know in the
yes.
comments down below. We'd love to
Yes.
hear your thoughts on that. I still think I think listen, I'm putting my metaphorical token in the slot. I'm gonna say Valerie, of
Ooh, that
course,
would
by
be
Amy Winehouse. The goat. I'm gonna say that. That's my final
you
choice
have
as
to
I'm
make
gonna
it
pick.
funky. Like that's the other thing too, is like I guess to also talk about like the way that the band is. So Dom, Alika, Paul, and I have like all like different taste in music. So it's always like the worst for whoever has like the like if you like all your friends want to have the aux cord,
Oh,
basically fight for the aux cord all the time. But that's kind of like the wild thing about like writing in a band, especially with us. Yeah, because Dom, like he's into like Polyphia, he's
oh,
into
okay,
issues,
okay,
he's
okay,
into like
yeah.
he's into like really good drummers and crazy like fun breakdowns, and
The
but he's
riff
also into
salad,
like yeah, like the song's got to be like in an anime intro is basically how it's got to be, and
respect.
it's like but like every single song that he shows me, it's like baller. He's actually the one who showed me. He showed me Neck Deep actually for the first time. I never knew who Neck Deep was, and he showed me.
Wow.
God, what's the song? God,
Is it a
I'll
new
remember
off a
the
new?
song.
Is it off the newer stuff or?
No, it was actually off of the Zoltar Speaks.
Oh,
The like their
bro.
first, so like when their first album came out, it was
Oh,
before Life's Not Out to Get You. Yeah, it's
oh my god.
it's gonna haunt me if people know it. Please make fun of me in the comments for sure. But yeah, but yeah, so he showed me that album in general too, and like I was like, oh okay, yeah, this is lit. Like this is super cool. And then of course Alika is really into like punk rock stuff, like Descendants is his favorite band.
Oh,
Yeah, Blink 182 obviously, but he's also really into like me and him just went to go see No Effects for their
oh.
last show in Tacoma. Like I've always been a huge No
Woo.
Effects fan, and yeah, and it's bands in that realm, like like old school punk rock,
Oh
just
yeah.
like four chords, just in your face. That stuff I've always been like a huge fan of. But he's a diehard, like he knows everything about every single band. And then of course like Paul is he's originally from Richmond, Virginia, and he knows like the guys. He actually the one that introduced me to Turnstile right before
Oh.
Glow On came out, and I was
Woo.
like, oh, this band's pretty sick. Then I listened to the album, and for my birthday, like the day after it was my for my birthday, they were at Roseland Theater in Portland. And long story short, it was one of the best experiences
Oh
of my life.
sure. Oh yeah.
Which another thing, like you never know who you're gonna see at the show. First time I ever saw Citizen
Oh.
was at Turnstile, and I had no idea who they were, and I saw them, and I was like captivated. Like I was
Uh.
in my seat, I was trying to hold myself down, and I was just like, next thing you know, the lights went down, the blue went up, they started walking
Oh,
out, and they
Citizen's
just opened
great.
up, and
Oh.
just and I was like, who the heck is this? How have I not known about these guys for so
Oh,
long? And
Citizen.
yeah, and yeah, but again, like, and Ceremony, another band that was
Oh,
on that bill.
another great one.
God, so many freaking bands. Jesus, there's so many bands in my head. But yeah, like that whole bill was super good, and I had so much fun, and I'd never seen Turnstile live, and I saw him, and the whole room was shaking. I thought Roseland Theater was gonna finally cap in and just like flex and everybody go down, and then they're gonna talk about it on the,
The
like
news.
Roseland Theater gets totally destroyed due to Turnstile. Like, whoa, what? People,
Minor earthquake
yeah.
was shaking the.
Yeah, exactly. No, like magnitude is freaking 76 or something. They were going off. Like my entire body was just shaking.
That's
There
rad.
was a dude was like crawling up the pole, jumping off into the crowd. Like I still have a photo to this day of like the man's like crawling up and like jumping off, and
Oh,
security can't get to him because there's a sea of people just going back and forth, and I'm just like, whoa, what is going on?
respect.
But yeah, like that's kind of like that's like the vibe of it. So if we did Valerie, yeah, it'd have to be all of those types of things mashed into one.
I
Plus, I
think
got to
you could
hit
do
that
it.
high note.
You got
Plus,
it.
I got to hit that high note.
I have I have a, I'm gonna send the positive reinforcement. I think you guys got it.
Hell
Like
yeah.
you got the whole like, I feel like you could definitely hit like a good two step in the verse.
Oh, I got a two step.
You got the two step kind of verse. You got the big chorus. You got the big note with a breakdown. I mean, come on. I think I got it all set up. I got locked and loaded. I'm not a producer, but I think I got
Nah,
it.
well, I'm glad that this isn't gonna come out until the album comes out, because maybe we'll cook something up for which I'm actually excited to announce too. For those who are checking this out, we finally put together our album release party, and that's gonna be at Bossa Nova Ballroom, October 7th, and
Woo!
so we'll be headlining Bossa Nova, which is a
Hell yeah.
crazy concept. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I've always loved Bossa Nova, and I've seen a bunch of bands that are out there. Like the last band I saw that was out of Bossa Nova was Black Flag, and like OG Black Flag, for them to go through like a whole album, have an intermission, and then play all the hits. It was like, yeah, let's go.
So much
Um,
energy.
oh my god, so much fun, and like still to this day, like you can be like almost 70 plus years old and still kicking it. Like that's still badass. Like that's how I want to be. It's like I want somebody to like kick me off stage when I'm at 70 years old, and I just say, fuck you, throw some
Get
shit
off,
at
yeah.
them.
You gotta like Falcon kick them off the stage, like
Yeah,
our
exactly.
Lord and Savior Parker Canyon. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
the album was wishful thinking from Neck Deep, and that song you had correct, which is Zoltar Speaks.
Yeah. That's the one.
I got you, Mike.
I
I'm not gonna
appreciate
let
you.
them
I
internet
appreciate
haters
you.
come at you. All right,
Yeah.
I got you. I got him. I'm protecting him. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments what song you'd love to hear them cover. But the next question I have for you, Mike, is what is your
Mhm.
favorite food to eat?
Oh, I'm a foodie, so this
Mm.
is kind of crazy. Shoot, I would say my favorite food to eat, uh, yeah, it's very much pizza. I'm very pop punk to the core. I'm very pop punk to the core. Like I got
Respect.
a California Pizza Kitchen pizza in my fridge. I got 3 of them for all $5 today. I went and got shopping. Like I've always got pizza on lock.
Pizza's
Always.
on deck over at Mike's
Oh yeah.
place.
Yeah, always that. But like if I ever like indulge myself, there's a place called PDX Sliders out here. I always love a good burger. I just
Oh,
like yeah, and they make like the best burgers on the planet. It's so good. Like I don't like to like eat a lot of food. I've always not been like a huge eater type of dude. Um, and I just like to like munch on something pretty easy, and I'm like, okay, this is tasty, this is fun.
I like this.
Like
Yeah.
unless I'm like super tired and I want to get like a full rack of ribs from somewhere, like yeah, I'll go do that. Like let's go grind, let's go and demolish stuff. Like I grew up on like you go to like working with a bunch of like my coworkers and stuff. They'd bring over like food, or like we'd ever end up doing like big parties, and then if anybody's ever gone to like a Hawaii party, especially at somebody's house, like Auntie will come through and you're like, oh, eat boy, like, and then come second, third, fourth plate, and it's like, oh, you're skinny. No, keep
Keep
eating. It's
going,
like,
keep going.
keep going. Like, no, I grew up on that because you don't want to like embarrass
And then
yourself. You don't want to like,
meanwhile you're like,
I'm just
oh
dying,
god.
dude. I'm dying. This food is so good, but like my stomach cannot handle this, and it's just. But like
Oh
that, so
man.
I'm good at like, yeah, I can eat a little bit. I'm like, I'm all set. I'm all set. But I'll drink like a fish, but yeah, but I'll eat like eat
You're
just
like,
naturally, yeah. But pizza, and then like, yeah, I'll indulge and get like PDX sliders, or yeah, just like Hawaiian food. Hawaiian food is usually the way.
yeah, I feel that. I'm well on the I feel like guys, if you have a good like Hawaiian recipe or something like that, let me know. DM me, on Instagram. Let me know it's good. I would
Oh, the
love to know.
musubi,
I was a
just a spam
musubi.
musubi.
Oh, you already know. I
Oh,
love
come
a good.
on now.
You don't have to tell me. I can make a good. I feel like I could make a pretty good spam musubi. So
Yeah, like a spam musubi, or when we went back home, I ate like a poke bowl every single day
oh,
from Foodland.
so
Like
fresh.
I grew up on like working or like going to school, and like we'd either get like McDonald's when we're broke, or like get like off the dollar menu or whatever. So
Respect.
that, or but like if I wanted to indulge, I get a poke bowl from Foodland, or get like spam musubi right before school or something, or yeah, like it's just how we grew up. It's just a Hawaii hot dog is the way I like to explain
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh, I love that stuff. I also got to figure out how to make. I found out recently they make a loco moco. I'm pretty sure is what it's called.
Oh,
Uh
see, Alika is the chef of the band.
okay.
So, and he
Alika, give me a good
actually,
one. Let me know. DM
yeah,
me.
Alika will hook it up. Yeah, I'll get Alika on your DMs, and he'll send you a whole thing. Yeah,
Blessed.
he is like the chef. Like everything's got to be fresh. The way it's like and like even when we were in the studio for this album, he was just like making food all the
Cooking it
time. It's like,
up.
oh yeah, oh, he's cooking the entire time. Like if he wasn't playing
Woo!
guitar, he was cooking, he was eating, he was sleeping, and that's it. Like that was it.
Respect.
It's yeah, he'll make you a good locomoco. Like he's another dude. Like he grew up that like Hawaiian family, Filipino family, where it's like they just got good food all the
Oh.
time, and he lives off that stuff. He's just like, no, like we still got more. It's like I'm good after the plate. I'm good.
I'm tapped, bro.
I'm
Yeah.
tapped out.
I feel that. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Whenever I have homies like stay at my house when I used to live with my parents, like I would make food, and I'm like, "You good? You good?" And they're like, "Bro, you haven't even eaten anything." I'm like, No. You good? You guys got to eat, dog.
Got to
I'm
take
good.
care of the
I'm good.
household
I'm good.
first.
Yeah, I'm good. Just you guys eat. Save your strength. So. I feel that that's a big move. But the next question I have for you, Mike, if you guys could have a dream collaboration on an up and coming all hype song, who would you love to collaborate with? I'm gonna break that question off a little bit more. I feel
Okay.
like the first part of that question would be one that you feel is realistic. You could call someone out.
Mhm.
You could be like, "Yo, like." Would you like, you
Yeah.
might as well
Right.
put it out there. And the second one is like the manifestation. We're putting it out there. We're not saying like if, we're saying when. We want to
Right. Right.
we'll put those signal boosters out. So that's my
Shoot. Well, I love putting me on the spot. This is awesome. So let me think. Let me think.
You got it. I
Well,
got it.
I would love, honestly, I would love to do like a song with. I would love to do a song, probably with like. I would honestly love to do something with like Knuckle Puck. That'd be really
Oh,
cool. That would be a really cool one. That, or another huge, like a band that actually we first saw when we moved here, and that was just like kind of like really like gave me the jump of like, oh yeah, there's bands on in the mainland, this band called Belmont, which you probably already
oh,
know.
oh yeah,
um
oh yeah, oh
but
yeah.
like, but it'd be so much fun to have those two, Brian and Dom, just figure out like some crazy drum shit. Like it would just be nuts all day. Yeah, and to write with Taz would be super sick. Um, Yeah, and it's just yeah, that would be so much fun. And we've stayed in touch with those guys a little bit, but and we played a couple times. But like to actually like write a song to like get into the world of how they write their songs, because I've always been a huge fan of
Oh,
like
wild.
they just go off, have fun, crazy shit. It was like okay, this is sick. Like jumping around, having a good time. Like yeah, that's my vibe. That's my vibe. I'm all about that.
I'm feeling it.
So I yeah no, I probably definitely feel I feel like more realistically, it would be awesome to like put together a song with like yeah, like a Belmont collab with like a drum battle. That'd be kind of
Oh,
cool. Like a drum like old school like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like
yeah.
two
Oh,
stages like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool as like its own. Like I've already got the music video set. Two bands set up, music
Oh, so
video, and
sick.
just going back and forth, like just breakdown after breakdown, and just oh,
That
it'd
would be
be so
hard.
cool to kind of well, because especially with like the way that Leek and I write when it comes to lyrics, like because him and I kind of go back and forth with like the vocals, and anytime I figure out like vocals, we always want to do like cool harmonies. We always want to do like always want to have like a little bit of where we're going. Either one of us is going super high, super low,
Oh, so
or kind of
sick.
like playing around with it and make it interesting. Never just like just too simple. You know what I mean? It's got to have a little twist, little twist.
A little
Um,
extra, a little salt.
but
I
like to have
gotcha.
another band,
Oh,
involved with it would be really really cool. I think that would be really sick. Yeah, and then yeah, I would love to write. I'd love to write with Knuckle Puck. I would love to get. I would like to dive into their brains and like their way of writing because I even their new stuff too. Like I've been spinning gasoline.
oh,
From
bro.
yeah,
Yes.
from their newest record. Yeah, yeah, it's so good. Like that song just always gets me. I'm like, oh, okay, this is super sick. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. I've always been a huge fan of like anybody from the Midwest. Like those guys know how to party. Like those guys know how to party. Like West Coast is taking over, but Midwest kind of understands. They get it. They understand. They're in between.
It's
They
felt. It's
understand the
felt.
vibes of
Yeah.
both
Oh, yeah.
sides.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the East Coast too. Yeah, that's the problem. Is there's too much good music. I want to go and do an East Coast tour so bad. Like our buddies in Floor Space and
Yes.
Keep Flying. We played with those guys. We played with
Shout
Keep Flying
outs.
before. Yeah, and there's super cool dudes, super cool dudes. And there's so many bands. There's so many bands all over the place that like I want to go and tour so I can go and hang out with them and play a show and like that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So
It's the homies. Yeah, I got
it's
you.
just the homies. Yeah,
I feel. That's like anytime I get to see my touring buddies, that's like joyous day, I love hanging out with the homies. Everyone knows that. It's
yeah.
like it was like the show I went to last Sunday. Like people were like, "Oh, you know Brandon? That's sick. He's like such a
Mhm.
sweetie." And then like somebody else was like, "Wait, you know Brandon? How do you know him?" And it's just like all of these people like come out of the woodwork. They're like, "Wait, I know this guy too. What? That's so weird."
Yep.
And it's like I'm like, guys, please, I'm right here. I'm gonna turn into a pile of just like a puddle of emotion. So I'll step back. You guys can talk about me, and I'm just gonna like do one of these and just
Oh
disappear into
yeah.
the background. But no, it's great. I feel incredibly humbled when anybody says something super nice about me. So. But yeah, no, that would be so sick. I would love to hear Knuckle Puck, Belmont, and an all hype track. So listen, guys, if you're familiar with the channel, I'm going to be
Put it
talking
out
about
to the
right now.
world.
So I need you to do this. So I need you to go tag. Well, if you're not already, first you got to go follow All Hype. All right, so go do that. Second step, then I need you to tag All Hype. I also need you to tag Belmont, and I also need you to tag Knucklepuck, and then I want you to type the word collab question mark. And listen, I've been on the internet for like 8 years right now, so I just want to say, I know a little bit about the internet. So if you believe enough, and like I feel if it's out there and it's on the internet,
Mhm.
there's a chance it could be real. So like I'm just saying Belmont, Knucklepuck, you listening? I'm just saying. That'd be really sick. And like, what a cool, like, epic music video? It almost reminds me
That
a
would
lot.
be sick.
It would be such
That
a
would be sick.
three-way collab, like insane music video, putting all the pieces together here, guys. So just saying.
I've already got the music video idea. Like it'd be so crazy. Like I've that's also another thing too is like I've always loved versus the World. Like that's my like hands down
Oh,
favorite movie of all time. Like it's I don't care what anybody says. Like there's been a lot of great movies out there. I love watching movies, but Scott Pilgrim versus the
oh,
World always takes the cake for me every single time.
same. I'm a big Scott Pilgrim versus the World fan. Just what a great film. So, big
Mm,
salutes. But funnily enough, you're nailing it on the head here, Mike. As you know, and as most people know here on the channel, I'm a
mm,
huge video game fan. So I feel like the time has come,
mhm.
Mike. I have to ask you if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
If I could be a video game character, who
Hell
would
yeah,
I be?
yeah.
If I could be a video game character, I would absolutely be a Pokemon trainer. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Like hands down. Like I've been told before I'd probably be a gym leader. And
Okay.
yeah, I'd probably be a gym leader and I probably have like an electric type gym. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I've always said this before, like, I'll eventually get a Pokemon tattoo, but it's either gonna be I've been wanting to get like a Gyarados head on my knee. So like just kind of like a crazy, just like crazy tattoo right there. Or I've always been a fan of Elekid because he's just like
Oh
such a weird
yes.
yeah,
Oh, it's
he's just
cute.
like the little short in I forget what which movie it is, but when he's like getting like all like macho and shit, but then he
Yeah.
gets like embarrassed or whatever, that just always reminds me of me. It's just like, oh, he's cute. He's a little powerful, but he's also a little cute. He's just a little embarrassing. Then he evolves into Electivire, and that's like one of my favorite Pokemon
Oh,
of all time. So,
goaded.
yeah,
Goated.
yeah,
I feel that, as like I am lliterally looking at my desk and I have like some of my like Pokemon like Funko Pops, of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
the OGs, Um, yeah, I have so much Pokemon stuff and I have like literally like I
Hey, that's me too.
can't even show it, but I have a I think it's like the biggest Funko Pop you can get of Pikachu
Oh,
that
that's
like
so sick.
that's by my TV. I'll throw up a photo if anybody
See,
wants to watch it.
that's my little
Oh, I
Togepi.
love the Togepi.
I carry him wherever I go because he's my AirPods. He's got my little
That's
AirPods
I
and
love
stuff.
that. I
So
love that.
that is my make sure you guys are wearing your hearing protection wherever you go too, because you always got to make sure you have like well, I got these little like
I'm the
earpieces
same
that are
way.
really nice. Yeah, I got to make sure you have little filters and stuff in them. One thing I've been trying to get for us to do like at shows is which I'm gonna probably start doing a lot more is like bringing earplugs to
Oh
our
yeah.
merch booth and you can just have them for free. Like I believe in like you should never like I don't ever really want to sell stickers. So like because you never know like I'm because I grew up being like a 16-year-old with no money. Like I go to a show, that's all my money. Like that's it. Like
Yeah.
I go and see merch. Like that's cool. But like if I go to a show, I still want to like support and like check stuff out. So like it was kind of free internet ish kind of stuff. Like we still had like Facebook and whatnot, like when I was 16, um but like I could actually take a sticker and then I could just slap it on something that I like, and it's like, oh, I like that sticker. What's that from? I was like, oh, check out this
Free
band,
promo.
or
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like, and one thing that like we like to do is I love to use these QR codes, and I'll just slap them around all over the
Hell
like city.
yeah.
So
That's so
anybody
sick.
who sees them, yeah, like I'll just give them out for free. Like, yeah, dude, yeah, check this out. It's got an all hype thing, and it's got a little QR code. So if anybody's ever interested, they can literally go straight to it. So
And it's right there.
I've always believed in that. Is like same thing too with like making sure that take care of your ears, you
Oh,
dummies. All these people out here not
I'll
taking
scream that
care of
shit
them.
from the rooftops. Yeah, go
Yeah,
please go buy like earplugs, especially even if you have to get like the foam ones, like get something because
yeah.
as a 30-year-old that has been in the scene for a while, I have worn my fair share of earbuds and people get like they're like, "Oh man, that's not heavy enough." I'm like, "Well, when I'll actually still be able to hear the music when I'm old, unlike
Oh yeah,
unlike your ass." So, I'm
yeah.
calling you
Exactly.
out. You didn't think I was going to call you out, huh? Yeah, so that yeah, exactly. So go get headphones. Go get earbuds.
Go sa
Do
save
something.
yourself before we have to start getting those, what is it, those headphones that, they connect to your skull so you can hear instead of, like,
Oh no.
because they have, like, so
It's
I
like a
actually have, like,
neural
these
link, you know?
yeah, so, like, I have these sunglasses that, they have, like, they have, like, vibration things or whatever, so you put on these sunglasses, and I can listen to, like, it Bluetooth connects to my phone, and, I just
The
wear them,
future's
and then I
now,
don't have to
guys.
have, like dude, yeah, exactly, so you might as well take care of your ears before that becomes the normal normal thing, because then you're gonna have to only use those things.
Yeah, that's the only way you'll be able to hear it at a show. So please
Yeah.
go do it and don't do that. But I also feel like I'm, obligated to show this off. I got this really sick bag. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so sick.
So shout outs to Capstar, who is the people that got
Woo.
my bag, and then I got this little hang tag on my. It's a little Snorlax tag,
Hey.
So you already know. People already know
Oh,
I'm a
I
huge
do.
Pokemon fan.
I have
A
that
big.
I have a shiny Charizard hoodie from this thing called Gilgamesh, which is really cool.
Yes,
It's like
shout it out.
yeah, yeah. I know those guys are sick. Send me all the merch because I will
Gilgam-
wear it on
Gi-
stage all the time.
let's go, Gilgamesh. Come on,
I love
let's.
wearing Pokemon stuff.
Come on.
Actually, it's been kind of funny because like I like to. I'm not gonna lie, I like to dress up whenever I go on stage. Like I like to have like I think very important thing about like going on stage, like people tend to be like, oh, don't wear brands, don't wear this, like cover up. So like, cause I don't know, like we're independent. Like we
Sure,
like to do
yeah.
our own thing. Like, until a label comes out and like is like, hey, I like your vibe, want to support it, and we want to do it the right way. Like, sick, awesome, cool. But I'm not a huge fan of like corporate bullshit and all that other
Fair,
stuff.
fair,
Like
yeah.
I'm about like wanting to do stuff that's fun and like it's like again, it's like it's for everybody. It's not just because like, oh yeah, it's gotta be trendy and all this other stuff. It's like forget trend. Just do what you want. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
enjoy it.
have fun. Like the rest of it's gonna be trendy when you actually do something that you enjoy, because then people will actually enjoy that. And that I'm a huge fan of anybody who does that, because like I'll see people like wearing shirts um like that support like a business or something that they either work at, or like a friend of theirs is having like I just got a shirt that's supporting Maui, and I want to
Oh,
use that
sick.
as like a show shirt. And I was just like, yeah, no, I want to wear stuff that like represents either home or something I like, or bands I like, or
Yeah.
like I have this Rainbow Drive-In shirt that is from this place called Rainbow Drive-In back home, and they actually closed down because of COVID. And
Oh,
it's like for I will never give up that shirt. Like
sure.
even shout out to my boys in Right On Kid. Like this is one of their hoodies. Like I've always loved this hoodie, and I got one of the last ones, and I was like, yes, let's go. All about that shit. Like yeah, you gotta support what you like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like somebody asked me a while ago and was like, oh well, is it weird to wear like a band shirt when you're at their show? And it's like, yeah,
Not
fuck it.
do
Wear
whatever
what
you
you
want.
want.
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
do it
a
all the
fan, of
time.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll also wear like a fucking anime shirt at a show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just wear what you want. But I
Dom
got
loves his Tanjiro. Dom loves his
oh,
Tanjiro shirt he's got. Yeah. You and him would hit it off,
hit it
man. No,
off.
you guys would hit
Come
it
on.
off.
Come
You just
on.
got to start off with the anime question. That's the only thing.
Hey, that I'm all about that. So big salutes. Also, I'll DM you. We'll talk. Well, once this is over
Yeah,
with, I'll let you know. I
we'll
got
talk.
something for you. But great question, great answer. Obviously, most people know I'm a huge Pokemon stan, so I feel like
Mhm.
you. I know you weren't like playing up to me, but like
Mhm.
I knew. I had a feeling. I was like, if he doesn't pick Pokemon trainer, I'm like, woo, or like
Oh,
a
all
gym
day.
leader all day, every day. So I
All
love
day.
that. But the
I've always
next,
been a huge Borderlands fan, though. That's the other thing too. Is like
oh,
I have this Borderlands tattoo, because that's the second game that I'm been a huge fan. A lot of people are always like, "Oh yeah, I love Destiny." It's like Destiny wouldn't be shit without Borderlands. So like, yeah, no. Like Borderlands to this day is just I've always loved comic books, so just to have something like
same.
wild and
Oh yeah,
like that and Pokemon are like instantly, yeah. But definitely Pokemon Trainer more, because I like as a kid like played a lot more Pokemon than I
oh
did
yeah.
Borderlands.
Yep, same. I'm well on that train 100%. I'm also like a huge like Zelda fan. Nintendo is
Oh
like my
yeah.
shit. I love a good
Hmm.
I love a good Nintendo game, but uh The next question I have for you, Mike, is if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including all hype, who would be on this lineup?
Um, well, it's got to be a party, so
It's
that's
got to be
automatic.
respect.
It's
Yeah,
got to be like a vacation slash party slash just good vibes all around.
hangout sesh. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a good hangout sesh. So I would love to go. Well, I'd love to take my boys Right On Kid on tour. Like
Ooh. Okay.
us two would be like I love their music. That's another band that we got asked to jump on a couple shows with them, and it was so much fun to play with those guys. Um, definitely Right On Kid's got to be on that bill. Shoot, who else? Who else? I'm just gonna shout out all the homies because that's
Hey
honestly all I
yo.
really want to do.
Hey yo.
Band Chlorine out of the Pacific Northwest. They're killing it. They do like grunge pop punk.
Ooh.
Definitely,
Okay.
you should definitely check them out.
Okay.
Alika actually plays bass with them. So Alika's is a hard worker, always doing something.
The
Yeah,
goat.
just
Yeah.
a string meister. And shoot, like who else would I want to? And we got to put somebody that's like it's like we gotta put a name. We gotta put a name out there. I gotta go on tour with Neck Deep. Gotta go
Oh.
on tour with Neck Deep. I feel like if Neck Deep does like a full U.S. Tour, those guys like we the three of us combined would be like
Ooh.
to help become like the Megazord into Neck Deep. You know what I mean? Like that we got like that's the hype crew for that out there. Like that's yeah, like all that pop punk stuff. Like that's got to be the way it goes for sure. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
move.
no, definitely. I'll say it, and it's like I've always been a huge fan, and I'll manifest it. Why not?
Hey, yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's not an if, it's when. That's what I
Yes,
believe. So
it's when.
we got it. We got it,
Yes,
boys.
sir.
The next question I have for you, Mike, is if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
Ooh, okay, okay. And it can be any genre. It doesn't
Any
matter. That's
genre.
just
Yeah, it doesn't
whatever.
matter. Yeah, this is
Uh,
dealer's choice. Yeah.
okay. Um, Shoot. I'm stuck on a desert island. And just for like a month
Just a month.
or just
Yeah.
like
I'm
just
not
a
trying to
month.
be I'm not trying to break your legs, break your
Oh,
kneecaps. So.
no. Okay. Okay, cool. For a month. Um it's gonna keep me vibing the whole time. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna be the
yeah.
real thing. It's like I'm stuck on a desert island. Like I gotta be listening to something that's just like I can keep listening to this for like a hot minute and like I won't get bored of it. Probably Third Eye Blind, the first album. Yeah, first
Ooh,
album, Third Eye
wow.
Blind. Yeah, like I could listen to that album for like forever. Like I've been listening to that album forever. I might as well bring it with me. You know what I mean? And
I
especially
feel
like I could be setting up. I can be setting up
it.
a full on fort and everything. I'd be like fishing. I'd be going over to
You
the
be ready.
yeah, I'll be going over to the sand, and of course, I'll be like spearfishing or whatever, and just hanging out. Yeah, I'll make a little spot for me, and yeah, I'm only pretty sure that I can't take it. Oh yeah, no, I could definitely do that.
You
That
be
and
chilling.
yeah, I'll be chilling. Yeah, I'll be chilling with that. Yeah, that's definitely Third Eye Blind.
I love that. That's a great choice. But the last thing, Mike, as much as I could continue talking to you for many more hours, I feel
Oh,
like it's a
absolutely,
Friday. People gotta enjoy their shit. But
absolutely.
I wanted to know, because I know you're such a passionate individual. To again harken back to the beginning part of this interview, which was that you sold all of your belongings and moved to the state's mainland, and like
Hmm.
you really want to do this. So I like want to know why you're passionate about doing this and like making music and really trying to get your band out there. Like because I think for me it was like I was inspired. Like I felt inspired to be like, holy shit! Like
Thank
this
you.
person has just literally taken their whole life and like been like, you know what? I'm on Hawaii, which is like most people would consider just like an absolute paradise, certainly, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, and to be like, "No, I gotta move to the mainland, I gotta make my band, like, the next big thing to, like, pop off on, like, social media, and, like, I really
Hmm.
wanna get this running." So, like, why is this important to you? Why do you continue to do it? And why is it such a thing that, like, you're like, "This is a do or die thing, like, I gotta do it, like, this is important to me."
Um, I think it's simply just it's just what I feel is right. I
Mhm.
think I think that's just and like, going back to being a kid, like I grew up wanting to, you know, I've always wanted to inspire people, and I've always wanted to let them know, like, as much as like I've struggled with my own things, that at the end of the day, and it's the thing with, like, I think the whole world, and I have a weird perspective just because I didn't really grow up in the States, and I was
Mhm.
always kind of like moved around, and you know being a kid from Hawaii, like, I wasn't, a lot of times I got picked on just because who I was,
Sure.
and didn't, and that still never stopped me, just because I knew at the end of the day, people have different perspectives, and not everyone understands. But I think one thing that everybody does understand is that you can put a song on, and you can have fun. You can Everybody just wants to like go to a party and hang out with the homies and family, and
Sure.
that's what I've always like gravitated towards, and it's what I work hard to do. Is like I work hard to play hard,
Sure,
and
yeah.
and I think with music, that's one thing that has always healed me, and I feel like it heal a lot of people. And even if it's just like a little bit of motivation, or all the motivation you need, like, um I'm already a wild individual. I might as well talk about it.
Sure,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess, and it's just I love to play. I love to play. I love to sing. I hate sitting on my ass and like not being able to play. And a lot of people give us like, this is true too. Like, a lot of times when people come out to shows, like, Paul hasn't been at a lot of the shows, but that's because we spent all of our money putting this album out, and he got a job that's paying him back home in Hawaii so that he can fly back out over here. And so he's back home, and he's flying back and forth to do
Sh
shows, and like that's another thing too. And like same thing with Alik and Dom, and I, like, we gave up everything back home just because like we want to represent, but we don't have like we shouldn't just stay home and just be cush. Like that's kind
Sure.
of what everybody, like, I grew up with a lot of people that they're still at home, and that's what they like to do. And like, totally, it's Hawaii, of course, why wouldn't you want to stay there?
Yeah.
But like, but that's just not me, you know what I mean? And I
Sure.
just gotta be me, and I gotta represent what's important to me. And what's important to me is making music, uh just in general, just making music, and putting out a good vibe out there, and trying to, I guess, live up to the legacy that a lot of these bands I grew up listening to. And I think there's a lot of like, it's the same thing with all hype. And it's like, the music industry is all hype. And I think if you at the end of the day can really put yourself out there, and really be passionate about it, at the end of the day, you're the one who has gonna have to like sit with all your music. And if you decide to just put it out there just for likes and stuff, that's cool. But you do it because you love to do it, and you don't expect anything out of it, that's amazing too. But you just got to do it for the right reasons you feel, instead of how other people are going to feel about it. So just I just yeah, I gotta tell my story, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think you guys have a great story to tell, I think it's like I find like a lot of just kind of even talking with you, just like having more of an appreciation for why you do it. I think just again, not knowing any background about your band and really kind of learning a lot about it tonight, I think it makes me respect what you do even that much more because it's like for
Thanks, man.
someone to like do give up their shit like to literally like do something that they live out to dream like I think I think that can inspire a lot of people to like break out of their shell like I'll give my 2 cents is just like I used to be super shy. I didn't even want to talk to people like before I
Mhm.
started using YouTube, and now I don't shut the fuck up, like that's so it's just like to me it's like that's kind of like you got to find that thing that makes you, and I think
Yep.
it unlocks different things about your life that like you feel like are difficult at the time, but like have made such a profound impact on your life and it allows you to grow as an individual. And I always find that the place where you feel stagnant is like not the best move sometimes. Like you want to feel like you got to shake things up or you have to do something different to like just elevate yourself. And I think it like I'll look back at some of the hardest times that I've had to go through and I'm like, man, that sucked, but like now look at where I'm at and like the things that I've been able to accomplish. And like it's such a cool thing. And like I just appreciate that you guys have worked so hard to do this. And like everyone, please go check out 3D. I'll leave links below if you can go pick it up, if you can go see them at a show, if you can go do all this sort of stuff. Like definitely a band that is well deserving of it and absolutely like grinds their ass off to do this. So please go support them. And I feel like I got to
Thank you,
segue to
man.
the most important thing, Mike. Tell them where they can find All Hype at, what you guys have coming up next, and anything else. This is the time. Tell the people
So
what's next.
as of right now, 3D is out. I want you to go and check it out on any streaming service you like to listen to. Tell your friends, tell all your friends, spread the word about it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope that we tell a story that you can connect with, and you can keep that endless cycle going. Because once that first song goes off, once you get to all the way to the end of it, it's gonna just keep going. It's gonna
Ooh,
keep going.
I'm loving
Never
it.
stops. That's the same thing with all hype. Can't stop, don't stop. It's the hype train, baby.
Hey, 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 let's go. I love that.
We've been trying to figure out we were like, oh, what's someone was telling us like, oh yeah, well what's like your fans called or whatever. It's like, I don't know. And it was like, and somebody was like, oh yeah, it's like, it's called just the hype train. They're like the hype train.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I was
great.
like,
Great
okay,
choice.
all right, cool. But and yeah, just like spread the love. We wanna represent where we're from.
Hell yeah.
We grew up on pop punk from Hawaii, and we want to give that out to the people. And we want to represent, of course, the PNW for letting us, go around and play all these shows. And we want to introduce the new era of pop punk. And that's pretty much all hype.
Well, guys, listen. I want to give a big salutes again to Glacier Veins, the
Yep.
homies. Big salutes, big
Love you,
salutes,
Kyle. Love you, Malia.
shout outs. But listen, if you guys have stuck it out with me for 2 hours talking to Mike from All Hype, God bless you. That's amazing. But also, since you're still here, please go check out All Hype. All of the links are in the description. Please go show them some love. They have their album 3D out now. Please go pick it up. Go stream it. Go get those stream numbers up. Go subscribe to their YouTube channel. If they are playing a show in your area, especially if you live on the West Coast, please go see them live. I would love to, but I am on the opposite coast. So
We're coming
hopefully
to you,
sometime
baby. We're
they're
on
gonna
our way.
they're gonna
We're
come
working on it.
they're gonna do it. So I have I got a good feeling. I got a knack, some might say. So please go check them out. Seriously, the one of the most hardworking bands I think I've had on doing this. So seriously, please go show them some love.
I appreciate
If you
that.
enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5K, so if you can help me get to
Let's
5K subs,
go.
that would be amazing. Would love to get to 5K. And again, huge thanks to Mike for coming on tonight and chatting with me.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate you.